Progress continues out at Starbase. We've got Ship 39 that rolled all the way to Masseys, and SpaceX got through an entire test without blowing it up. It's time for another Starbase summary here. We'll be talking through the video that we caught over the last few days, kicking it off with the Masseys truss structure here. Notably, there's no ship there yet. There will be later in the video. Hey, is that like it's like a hawk or something on the light pole, the power pole there in front of it. But we've been watching this structure come together, and the really cool thing is going to be when the ship gets out there, seeing how the ship fits into the middle of all of that. Here are some things labeled parts rolling towards Masseys, the single SPMT, and I think we've already done the brewery thing. That doesn't really look like a brewery. It looks like a blacksmith forge or something like that. Probably not that. I'm no expert. We've got some hinge points. It looks like big pins and big things. That's interesting. Let's keep watching and see if we get a little bit more context as to what those might be used for. I remember seeing, I think, on social, those things rolling out. I've been on the road, pretty busy, haven't really caught up with what's going on. So let's see what else we get on those. Here's a Caesar shot of the production site. You can see the middle of the Gigabay starting to rise up there as that new level goes. Down at the bottom of the Gigabay, we've got some painted, I almost said timbers. That's not it. Some painted steel girders and beams and posts. I know y'all like to say which is which down in the comments. I'm fine with it. Gage getting us some shots here. And then the work basket underneath the crane, lifting a couple workers up there to the top. They've actually got some yokes. You want to call those yokes or brackets or whatever. They're getting ready for the columns to go on the next levels. There's a slightly pre-assembled piece flying in the background there. I like seeing that. How they don't have to put every little piece together up there. They pre-assemble some things on the ground and they bring it up, and look at this. It's going to go between these two segments. I wonder if there's like somebody on the ground looking up at the hole in the building, then looking down at the thing on the ground, then looking up at the hole in the building and being like, is that where that thing goes? I don't know. Do they have like a computer that tells them this, or a 3D model or something? I really wonder the exact specifics. I don't know if any building construction workers could clue me in on that. Like a crane operator gets like a 3D overlay of where this part is supposed to go, or is it just, lick your thumb and hold it up in the air and see the hole in the building and sort of imagine that piece flying up there and being attached in the building. There you can see a little bit more detail on those center columns that have risen up. There you go. We've got one more flying in over on the left-hand side there. A little teeny tiny worker. Actually, that's a normal-sized worker. We're just far away on the side of the girders. They're getting ready to receive that, it looked like. Interesting. We've got some sheeting down there. Is that sheeting for painting, or are they doing welding or something? Let's see. We've got... No, he's putting that up. It's not covering him. It's putting that up. I wonder if that's to just block some of the wind down low. Maybe they're getting a lot of blowing dirt, grit, sand that's impeding things down low. Are they going to start doing welding in there? We usually don't see them make a huge, a huge windscreen like that. This is the road expansion. I'm looking for some context. Here's where they already finished this road expansion. So they have this nice area for, I guess, ships. Wow, that's a lot of lifts on the left-hand side. Area for ships to sort of turn out. And then they put all of those posts in the way. I know it says no parking so that randos on the side of the road don't pull over there and think they're going to park there. Or I guess contractors like to park on the side of the road as well. But it looks like they can unbolt those posts, but you're still going to have the base of the post in the way, and I don't think you'd want to run it over with the SPMT. Is that a hose? Is that 2-arm action on the guy on the right there? But is that a hose going up to that so it like puts cleaning fluid in the end of that scrub brush or whatever? That would be my guess as to what that was. We've got a nose cone getting tiled. Excellent. Notice how the points on the tiles go up. And each tile is attached to the ship with a cool sort of 3-pin mounting system. That's kind of cool. I like that. Could get some inspiration on that, on how the 3 pins attach a tile, such that the top pin is up and then the 2 bottom pins are down. Hey, look at that. 36, 36, 35, 35. I wonder if that's like a depth measurement. Those look like serial numbers down below, but those 2 serial numbers were the same. As they go through and check those things out, I imagine they're making sure that they're all within spec, right? We've seen some modifications happening over here on this stand. Is this a static fire crab? What do you want to call it? But they've been cutting and welding and taking pieces off and adding pieces to it. It'll be interesting to see where that thing ends up. Over in the rocket garden, sorry. Looks like that was what? Piece of a ship coming apart? I think it says ship 17, but don't quote me on it. Gosh, it's not like I'm in a video or anything. That says possible grid fin. I don't know if that's just the scale sort of getting me there. It looks a little big for a grid fin, but maybe it's just because I don't have anything to compare it to, right? And then we get into this. Ship 39 has popped its way out of Gigabay 2. Tiles looking quite nice on the ship there. Even look at the gap in the flap. It's a flap gap. Huh. It's going to come up past the mural here. This is the old Remedios Road, which is now the SpaceX Road. And you can see Highway 4 in front of it there, all that traffic, but I do know that they had a little bit of a road closure there to get this thing out. We're going to pop in to the QD plate there. Can't quite read the... Look at all the lines. That is delightfully greebly. Those bends and service loops, I say service loops, the extra sort of curvature to those lines that has to have some engineering significance. A lot of times you'll see loops when things are going to thermally expand or contract to give you a little bit of leeway in the piping or whatever. You see that in the tank farm a lot. You see that on cryo piping a lot. I don't know if that's what was going on there because those were sort of big loopy loops. So that's actually really curious. I'm sure in the Starbase update, our video that comes out once a week, usually on Mondays, we'll get some more analysis on those QD plates and those lines and hoses and everything that you saw in there. But here we've got traffic jam going down the road. Look at all the dirt trucks that are probably taking dirt over to the launch site, stacked up behind the rocket ship there. Ship 39. Scooting down Highway 4. This is going to be from the river site. You can actually see South Padre in the background there. Looks like we need to get a rag to this camera. You would probably believe how tough it is to keep the cameras clean out there, but some of them are a little tougher to reach than the others. And that one's like 20 foot up a tower, so it's tough to get to. This is a cool angle. I like that sort of ship coming around the corner angle. We were looking through there, and this looks like a deployable here in this gravel area. But you can see we deployed it before the roll, and then the dust blowing from the gravel looks like it got that lens a little dusty before the ship came by. But here's the ship turning into the road at Masseys. It looks like it went through the power lines. It didn't. The power lines there go under the road, specifically because they intended to roll large things onto the Massey Road there. And here we see it going all the way over to the interesting test stand structure that we had been seeing. Look at that. Look at Caesar with the artistic shot. It almost looks like the crane is holding up the sun. And we've already got those little sort of grabber arms embracing the ship there. I don't really think from there you could see if any of those top plates or anything like that were connected. Down below, if we're getting into cryo testing here, the bottom ship quick disconnect should be fully engaged, but the top probably not in use here. Let's see if we get some frost. On the tile side, because the tiles act as insulation, we don't normally see the frost form on the tile side. So when we get these angles from the tiled side of the ship, you don't see it. But there, you got a little bit of a sliver of a non-tiled side, and you actually saw that looked like ice melting to me. I don't think that was a lighting artifact. I think that was the ice melting away after depress after that test. So that is moving the ball forwards. They do need to be able to test those ships. Remember, that ship doesn't have engines on it right now. So that cryo test, maybe they're going to have some more testing they need to do before they roll that thing back and put some engines on it so they can static fire it. But all things that still remain to be done, and it is now March 1st. So better get a move on if we're going to have a launch in March. We'll see. It'll launch when it launches. There's some Pad 2 Deluge testing. A little minor rainbow in that one. That's not the top deck. That's just the bottom deck. I love how it like crashes over the retaining wall there. And then it goes into that sort of catchment area. It looks crazy from that low to the ground angle, but it's splashing over that wall and going down into that lower area. Got a little bit of chopsticks motion there. I did see a lot of folks. Oh, hey, wait. Those are cutie tests. Look, the chopsticks are going. The cutie's going in and out. This is some stop motion brilliance right now. I wonder if the other one we can't see is sort of going towards and away from us is going in. Anyways. There's a little bit of a zoomed-in shot of the preparations on top of Tower 2. Should have a roof sitting around somewhere that they need to put on top of that thing. Got some dirt trucks taking dirt in and out of the launch site expansion. Over here, there's some of that base gravel. We were doing a lot of talking there on preparing this ground. Remember we mentioned in the previous video, whoa, what in tarnation? That's a bag of water. It looks like a terrible sopapilla. I guess if you need a place to store water, a bag in the mud is as good a place as any. I didn't really have any context as to where those hoses were going. There was just a bag of water on the side of the work area. Huh. In any event, preparing this ground over here, bringing in all the gravel to stabilize it. You don't want the soft sand, the loose sand that has all the organic matter in it. There, they scraped all that away. They've been bringing that in. All the trucks that were lined up behind the Starship are bringing in that new base layer that they can use to put the concrete pads on top, start putting some of the other infrastructure in there. There's a sheet pile vibrator. That thing is like bzzz, sort of vibrating that thing into the ground. And a vaporizer delivery. All right. We'll wait for the cryo truck to get out of the way. They've been slamming those things in there. They have quite a few of those big vaporizer assemblies in the tank farm. I wonder where they're going to fit this one. I'm sure they have a pad prepared for it. Orbital Tank Farm Construction. We've labeled it Orbital Tank Farm Construction because there's a ladder. You see the ladder? And then the crane. There's two straps that must be, yes, there, enhance. We're going to get out the old tape measure, and we're going to measure this. Got to pull that a little tighter because that bow will add inches to your measurement. But it was time-lapse. Maybe they tightened it up. They just didn't see it. Across the street is the ASU, the Air Separation Unit. In my copious free time, I continue to wonder about how we could do a tour of one of those. But that is definitely a summer project if I have time to do it. I'd love to do it. Those two keg-looking things on the side as well. In any event, folks, hey, you know how to keep up with what's going on at Starbase. Follow along here on the channel. Check us out on social media as well. You can watch 24/7. We've got Starbase Live, too. Plus, all the things happening at the Cape. You know, SLS rolling in and out. Other launches happening. That's what we do here at NSF. But for now, appreciate you hanging out with me on this Starbase Summary. My name's John, and I will see you nerds later.